In this video, I want to explain you how you can build a minimum viable product with less than $100 in the same way that Airbnb did it, okay? This is a very clear and a straightforward way that you can use to build your MVP. I would recommend you to stay until the end of this video because I'm gonna give you a checklist that you can use to build your MVP and also a very important tip that can help you a lot. If it's the first time that you are watching my videos, my name is Justo, and I'm trying to build 12 apps in 1 year or until one of the app becomes successful. Now I'm building Kobo, an app that helps you create content that drive user signups. So let's start. But first of all, I want to ask you that if you still don't follow me here on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell because I'm 100% sure that you don't want to lose the upcoming videos that will help you a lot. So this is the lie that destroys most founders, okay? And I'm not judging you because I was on the same place, okay? When I was starting out, I was making the same mistakes. They build what feels good, not what gets used, okay? They spend months on debating tech stacks, designing perfect screens, rewriting things nobody asked for, talking about scalability without a single user, creating flawless dashboards without a single real validation. But what Airbnb did instead was, first of all, Airbnb built an MVP for under $100. And it wasn't because they weren't geniuses, but because they had no choice. Okay, it was that or not pay the rent. So of course there was like no other option. Okay, Airbnb founders were out of money, so they didn't create profiles, program payment plans, design dashboards, build notifications, implement security rules, create a native app. What they did was, first of all, they took photos of their apartment. They bought a domain. They set up a simple page. They put a basic form. They added a payment button. They organized everything manually by email. So serious simplicity here. And finally, they were able to validate a multi-billion-dollar business with an idea anyone could replicate, okay? But the thing here is that most of the founders nowadays tend to overcomplicate the minimum viable product. And the minimum viable product is to test. It's not you're not trying to build Amazon. You're not trying to build Facebook. You're trying to test your assumptions. You're trying to see if it's worth building what you want to build. So this is the minimum viable product you might be building. Most founders build minimum viable products like this. They obsess over architecture. They write scalable code. They make perfect screens. They think about details before validating on the basics. They spend months without talking to a real user. And the minimum viable product exists to answer one question only, which is, would anyone pay for this or absolutely not? That's the whole point. You see how simple it is. So how can you build a minimum viable product with less than $100? First of all, you need to identify a clear pain, okay? And a pain is not features, screens, code, database, or integrations. A pain is something that happens frequently, is expensive or annoying, is easy to describe. There is already a patch or a workaround, okay? Maybe there's a company already building an application or a company that has already built an application for that problem and is making money. So it lets you know that it's something worth building because there are more people making money with that. People search to solve it or they ask you to solve the problem. That's a real pain. That's something that is worth solving. So after that, you need to define the cheapest and simplest version of the solution. The right question is, what is the cheapest, dumbest, most manual way to deliver this outcome? For example, for Airbnb was offer a mattress in your home and coordinate by email, okay? And for a software as a service examples could be, let's say, a booking system, a Google Sheet and manual reminders could be an example. But you see that what these guys did, they validated $1 million, a billion maybe dollar a startup with a couple of with a couple of matrices. So after that, you create a landing page in a couple of hours. So the landing page must explain three things mainly. Very simple and straightforward. What problem it solves, what outcome it delivers, and what's the next step. Okay? What the next step is. No more than that. Very simple. This is not what you want to build. Okay? This is not complex pricing. Okay? No. Here it is. Okay, complex pricing, feature grids, multiple sections, endless FAQs. No, it doesn't work, okay? And something that I say on almost every single video, charge from day one, okay? If Airbnb had been free, they would haven't learned anything. So money validates and opinions doesn't, okay? That's not because they are not putting money to pay for your app. If the behavior doesn't lie, okay? It does not lie, because if someone is telling you that your application is amazing, but then he or she is not willing to pay for your app, their opinion is worth nothing. And measure one thing only, okay? Actual use, not UI metrics, not pretty charts, not internal reports, not load times. The MVP is measured at a single point. Does the user get the outcome they paid for? If yes, you move forward. If not, you fix it. You see how simple it is. And I have a bonus for you, okay? First of all, try to avoid these issues, okay? I already made these mistakes. First of all, over-engineering from day one. Falling in love with the code, not the user. Building dashboards nobody asked for. Designing perfect interfaces. Thinking about scalability before having customers. Believing that being complete is being useful. Confusing complexity with professionalism. Being afraid to launch something ugly. This is very common, okay? Everyone wants to launch a perfect minimum viable product, but that's not the purpose of a minimum viable product. Building for edge cases. This is not the purpose. Okay, you can do that on the future. In the future, once the product is validated. Disconnecting from the real world, not talking to users. Your MVP should be cheap, ugly, manual, fast, real. I don't telling you to build a shitty version of your app, but don't overcomplicate this, okay? Because if you keep it simple, you learn faster than your competitors. You avoid wasting moments. You build real trust. You become immune to perfectionism. You develop a way of working that doesn't depend on motivation, and you become a founder who executes without waiting for permission. So I will give you also an MVP examples that you can build in under a week maybe, or a week and a half, with less than $100. Let's say a sales call analyzer. This is very useful, okay? I had a marketing agency, and these type of things are very used. The user uploads the call, you analyze the report. An onboarding optimizer, you watch the user's videos, create a manual report, a goal tracking system, okay? Google Forms plus scheduled emails. Very simple and straightforward. So the video ends here. I hope this video helped you, and if this helped you, you also would help me a lot if you subscribe to the channel and you hit the like button, because in that way we can keep reaching new people, and it only takes 2 seconds. It's very fast. Stay tuned, because I will launch Kobo in the next couple of days. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.